Full Pull is the official fan app for truck and tractor pulling.
What's your favorite thing about tractor pulling?
First of all, it's an excellent sport, and we have made a lot of very good friends. Well, they moved us over here. Over there, we had one, and we bring up pole.
Exclusive. So, what's your favorite class?
Light limited pros.
Can you give us an example of what that sounds like?
Well, we've been cooking brats, burgers, bacon, that's about it.
Adam Bauer, Peyton, Iowa.
If you don't know that name, you don't know. This is a big time right here. Can you give me your impression of a badass motor?
Join the Countdown to Show live stream for the Super Bowl South in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. Full Pull is the official fan app for truck and tractor pulling, and will bring fans alive preview, breakdown, and predictions for all sessions of pulling. Get an inside look at your favorite drivers and competitors. Mark your calendar, July 21st and 22nd for the Countdown to Full-Time Show. Going on air 1 hour before the start of each session. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook to watch the free live stream.
What's up, pulling fans across the world? I'm Chase Richardson. I am moderator for this official picks and preview, Full Pull picks and preview show. Looking forward to this weekend, Chapel Hill, Tennessee, Lions Super Bowl of South, July 21st, 22nd. Joining in this podcast, talking about the greatest motorsport in the world with the greatest podcast in the world and the greatest host all at one, Mr. Miles Krieger himself, the official quote-unquote handicapper of the Full Pull brand. Miles, how are you, buddy?
I'm good, bud. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Miles, you were the official PA announcer once again for the 48th annual Super Bowl of South. What year is this for you doing announcing there, Miles?
This is number 9 for me on the mic, so excited to be down there. I did miss last year, so there was a family wedding that I stayed home for, and I'm excited to be back and get a chance to watch some awesome pulling competition.
Miles, obviously you're a great friend. We grew up in this world's greatest motorsport together, but how does it feel to be going from that guy who was a young guy on the mic to a seasoned vet right before our eyes? Pretty soon it'll be your 20th anniversary at all these events. Actually, the event I was at last week, I think I heard you say 20 years. Is that correct?
Yeah. So 2003 was my first year actually doing any announcing really on a full scale. 2002, Jeremy and I got to do a couple of events, but 2003 was my first real traveling summer. So last weekend was number 20 for me at Henry, and pretty awesome experience there. And it's great. It's an honor. I don't take it lightly, getting to have a chance to educate the world's best fans. And obviously we go to a place like Chapel Hill, a town of a couple thousand, maybe 3,000, and you turn the microphone on Saturday night and there's about 11,000 people. You get a little bit of a chill and you get a little bit of nerves that kind of kick in, a little bit of adrenaline that starts, and that gets you powered through the rest of the evening. So I can't wait. I'm excited, and
it's an exciting time. Miles, it's an exciting time because obviously you've built your name being a announcer, and obviously your successes with Miles Beyond 300. But before our eyes, just like a lot of things, we are seeing you morph into the official handicapper of truck and tractor pulling. So I am a big fan of that. Second host, the grand announcement being made coming to the Full Pull crew this week. You may know his name. Hopefully you don't remember his face. Mr. Uncle Larry Richwine. We're working on an official name for you. We'll see how good your picks are before we give you an official label. But Larry will be joining us on this show today. Also, the Countdown to Pull Time shows. One of the brightest and knowledgeable minds in the world of pulling. Recently stepped away from his premier position, head of tech official with NTPA. He did us all a favor, myself included, by stepping away from that as a competitor. All joking aside, Larry, you are a brilliant mind, brilliant person. Your personality is okay at times. Happy to have you on the show. Tell all the fans across the world what your role and what you're excited about with Full Pull moving forward.
Well, I'm excited to be a part of it. And like you say, I've been around a while. It'd be my 29th year to Chapel Hill. The other 28 was in a capacity of event manager. And I'm just excited to be a part of you guys' stuff. And hopefully I can bring some insight as far as what's going on with the track. And like right now, that track is covered and cooking. I can tell you, they build that track a week ahead and they cover it every night. And they uncover it during the day, and they work it, and water it, and work it. I guarantee you it's sitting there right now ready to go.
We'll dive right into it, Larry. Again, we'll see your prowess as a handicapper and picker as this week evolves and moving into the summer. But your knowledge for the sport is not going to be disputed. Talking about the weather, obviously a big hot topic for Chapel Hill this weekend. Friday night, 7 o'clock Central Time. The weather reports out of there and have some friends on site. The grounds are very wet. A lot of rain's been in there. The forecast for Friday, last I looked a little bit ago, we all know how weather forecasting is. It's like picking your winners in the winner circle. It can change class by class, but looks like it's going to be fairly clear and a chance of rain into Friday evening. Summertime, Mother Nature, like Larry said, Chapel Hill is a unique place because they cover the track. Larry, Miles, what are your thoughts? You've been in a lot of pulls, but as a competitor myself, if the guys at Chapel Hill can figure out a way to put on a pull, they're going to put it on. Anything short of a flood, is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, well, go for it, Miles.
Well, I'll just tell you, I mean, I've studied over the course of the last 2 weeks, I've been studying for this event and kind of prepping for this event. Statistically, for a lot of these classes, there's only been a couple of rainout sessions. If you go back through and you actually look all the way back from when Mini Rod began in 2008, there have only been 2 sessions from 2008 to 2023 that were not contested because of rain. Very similarly, in some of the super stock, pro stock mod classes like that, it's very similar. So they will, and I've been a part of helping them drag the tarp back over the track in the middle of a rain down there in my younger years when I was just a kid sitting in the bleachers with my dad announcing. So it's very feasibly possible that you get a really nice torrential downpour. They seal that track up and it doesn't change anything. Now the pit area might be messy, but the track itself will put a show on.
Well, and I've seen the time when
go ahead, Larry.
Do what?
I was just going to say,
I've seen the time when it rained and sprinkled and they've covered it up instantly. And then when it quit raining, they uncovered it. All we did was run the scraper up and down the track and kept pulling. Didn't have to restart. Didn't have to dig it. I remember one time I was soaking wet almost, and I crawled in the cab with Vaughn in the sled. And of course, he had the air conditioner on. I about froze to death. But I think that was a super stock class. But I think they actually covered it twice during the course of the event or that class, and they never had to dig it up and start again. That's the beauty of it. I mean, I don't know. There's a few events that try to cover it, but they've got one tarp on a roller at the other end, and they run and cover it, and it's pretty well handled. I mean, short of building a roof over it, these boys can work with the rain. If they'll give it a 30-minute window, they'll uncover it and keep running.
Yeah. So not in the full pull platform yet, but there will be a pick. Will or will the show go on? Rain and how much rain? Going to hold that off for this weekend, but. If I'm an official handicapper for this, which I'm not, I'm a competitor, but I'm saying we're pulling Friday. It may be a little later, but we will get session 1 in if I'm a wagering man. So, guys, obviously we're here to preview one of the greatest pulls in the world. Real quick, Larry, in your prior experience, the Chapel Hill is a unique event. Obviously, the Miles talked about the fans in attendance, but you can't just roll into Chapel Hill and pull. From your prior experiences, what separates Chapel Hill from some of the larger events around the world. And we'll dive right into kind of the competitors after you comment on this.
Well, the biggest thing is they all need to check what gear they're going to run. They don't need to be proud of a real high gear. Chapel Hill builds some power in that track, and I've seen many a guy go out there first time he attended Chapel Hill and miss his gear or miss his setup on weight. I mean, sometimes the first 50 or 60 feet get a little tore up, but they do an excellent job putting it back together. And one of your questions on your the thing was how many will go out of bounds or whatever. But
Larry,
that track may pull.
This is your debut. We follow script. We'll get to that shortly.
Okay.
No,
it can be tricky. It can be tricky. Put it that way. Oh, you're throwing me under the bus. Thanks. That's good.
Larry, welcome to the Full Pull team, the greatest motorsport in the world and the greatest colleagues and coworkers as well. So the Full Pull platform is up and running. A lot of participation amongst each class. Obviously, the Session 1 Challenge, the grand prize, 5 classes at this event. I think you got a number between 14 to 20 in every class. Pick the winner in each class. You win $2,500 in your pocket. Larry, I know you'll be gunning for that. Miles, you're about 70%, so I'd say you're good for about 4 out of 5. Along with the Session 1 Challenge, each class, we have the Diesel Supers, Mini Rods, Pro Stocks, 4-wheel drives, Unlimiteds. We'll be offering games where you pick the winners, pick the top 3 in the class winner, $200 to take home. And then we'll get to what Larry hinted to a few minutes prior, something we're really excited about. I think that all fans will really take a grasp of this, a little thing at the end of the show we're going to dive into. But nonetheless, let's go into class by class. We're going to go actually in class order. The Diesel Supers will lead on Friday night. You guys will – obviously, we have at 5:30 Friday evening Central Time, 5:30 Saturday evening Central Time, our Countdown to Pull Time show. You two will be joined by a couple other guests, live stream in the venue. Big announcement, pulling fans. If you're at Chapel Hill, we will be connected to the audio in the venue where everyone can hear us in the pits and on the grounds. Really excited about that. But obviously, from afar, this will be streamed through YouTube and Facebook. You guys will make your official picks for the class winners in that one. But as part of our picks and preview show, we're going to go through each class game where you got to pick the top 3. We're not going to make you reveal your winners because I'm sure you want to sleep on a couple nights, Larry and Miles, to think about who you really want to roll with. But you got to stay with your top 3 after today. So first class we got, Mr. Producer, if you'll go back, please go back to the Diesel Superstock Winner Circle pick. We'll start there. Miles, comment on the competitors. Do your thing, Larry. I'll kind of sit back and you guys kind of wrap up with your top 3 picks rolling into Friday. So Diesel Superstock will lead the way.
Sure. That's for me. I after studying a little bit deeper and the kind of historical side of things, there's been a lot of really, really great competition there, and some of the Mount Rushmore of pullers we might refer to have made their way to Chapel Hill. Lesden Lane, 16 session wins down there. That's quite a few over the years, and you want to think about that. So, but based off of what I know already this season, and knowing that the tractor's been gone through after he broke at Toma, I'm still leaning towards Colin and Jody Ross with the triple bypass entry. Travis Slaubaugh obviously has been incredibly tough over the last several years and has a session win down there in that area. Brandon Hunt out of Kentucky. This is kind of his hometown pull, and they own and operate a Case dealership there throughout that community or down throughout the states of Tennessee, Kentucky. So he's one to watch, and he has a recent win down there as well. So, those are 3 of them that I'm circling, and obviously the Super Rooster is one who's been incredibly tough and always right there in the mix as well. So those are 3 or 4 I will put my name around.
We're not going to lock you in at 3 miles. This is for the fans. I know you're not going to reveal your official results or official picks till Friday. So you got 4 from the official handicapper, Mr. Uncle Larry. This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Your debut and credibility of picking starts now. So roll with the Diesel Supers. Who's your top 3? Any of the comments you got in the field? And Miles, I don't know if you've noticed in pulling fans, Esden Lane was a scratch for this event. So if you've already put your pick in, you can go back and edit it and remove Esden Lane. But Esden is a scratch, unfortunately.
Yep.
Oh, I'm like Miles. It's hard to beat Colin and Jody Ross if it's running right, and I know they blew up there, but I'd say they'll be in the top 3 for sure. And I would also put in that same thing, Stan and Steve Blagrave. Blagraves are tough to beat. They come out of Texas. They never seem to pre-commit, but they're always at Chapel Hill. I might also say Chapel Hill's an invitational. They've got to be at a certain level in the Grand National points before they're invited, or there's a couple of them that'll get an invite from the promoter itself. But I'd say Travis Slayball, definitely the Blagraves, and Colin and Jody Ross are my top 3 in that class. They're going to be hard to beat, those 3. One of those 3, unless they explode, will be in the winner's circle.
Larry, don't get to your locks yet. Don't get to your locks yet. It's Wednesday. You got till Friday to put a lock out there. Don't lose credibility yet. I think you know what you're talking about.
I didn't say lock. I don't know if I'd locked the door. What are you guys locking? I don't know. I got to learn this stuff. Under the bus again. You know, our producer, nobody would say Jason, keeps throwing me under the bus because you tell me, okay.
I will say also, Chase, Degenhard and the Degenhard family, they come in. There's your points list right there. They come in straight from Toma, and a very impressive win there. So I believe, I could be wrong, but they haven't made this trip and voyage south very many times. So if those guys have been down to Chapel Hill, it hasn't been an overabundance of opportunity playing on the clay, but they're guys who are quite capable as well.
Me as a fan, triple bypass is probably my favorite vehicle in the pulling world. If you say drive one vehicle, that would be my choice. But Miles, it's been a couple of years since these guys been there, correct?
Yeah, they did not go down there in 2022 or 2021, and then COVID. So 2019, I think, is the last year. Colin and
a little bit of hiatus. I'm sure the pulling fans in Chapel Hill will recognize the name when it's announced, though, because they have a pretty good record there, if my memory serves me well. So.
Yep.
Cool. Next class, the greatest class in pulling, Larry, if you were not aware, will be the mini rods. A stellar field of 19. I think that might be a record for down there. Larry, we don't want to get into what the greatest class of pulling is, but I am the moderator, so I can make the comments. Miles, highly competitive, best of the best.
I've owned a couple mini rods.
I know you got you're a smart guy despite your future ventures. Miles, top 3 mini rod rollers. We got 19 in the class.
Well, I'll give you a shout out because you're on the winners list in Chapel Hill. You've been there and you've won. Pretty unique scenario where all 3 Sheltons have gone down there and won. You think about both the boys and Camille, all 3 winning in consecutive years. That's a pretty neat storyline for the mini division. Coming in, points leader Renee with the Pretty Wicked. She's tied with Adam Bauer. I'm going to circle both of those as I think both of them are running very, very well right now. And obviously you can't really fault either one of them in coming down and putting a circle next to them. Grant, great pass this past weekend as well, and seems to be in the hunt everywhere he goes. So there's another one I'll circle. And obviously I'll give you a shout out again. Like I said, I think you've been a winner down there. The Sheltons have not been out much this summer, but they bring 3, and I think it's hard to get it wrong 3 times. So, Stan and his competitive bunch will all be in the mix as well. I'll have to really, really study hard because Adam Kester has a win down there. Grant got his first Grand National win down there last year, I believe it was. So there's a whole stack of people who I think can go and win. And we just come from Toma for the most recent mini hook on the Grand National side where we had the Guzas, or Brian Guza got his win up there, of course, with the family's tractor. So there's a whole list of storylines.
So you're taking half the field, Miles, it sounds like.
Yep, I'll just narrow it down to 9.
I like it. Larry, let's see how smart you really are.
There's only 19 of them. You eliminated 10, Miles.
Okay, good.
Yeah, Grant last year did win that one session, Grant Theobald. I don't know who that vibrator tractor is, but I'm going to pick him to be in the top 3. And Adam Bauer, and probably Probably Renee. Renee's been doing some awful good driving. She just won her first time at with PPL at Henry, I believe, and she's doing a good job. And she made the transition from 2-wheel drives to minis, which Chase, you could tell us how that is if there's any similarities. But she's doing a good job driving it, and God knows they got good equipment. So any one of those 3 or 4, but I'm not going to pick half the class. But let's put it this way: there's not a runt in the litter. Out of 19, they're all very capable.
Miles will nail it down come Friday. He's got to sleep on it.
I've got a Q&A, by the way, with Renee that's coming and will be posted on the Full Pull page here soon. I did a
Sweet.
Q&A
And
with her yesterday.
pulling fans, shout out later this evening. We'll have our official handicapper Miles Krieger has done a recap from the Henry, Illinois event. It'll be on the Full Pull website and social pages this evening. Larry, I think a lot of you have not been watching results. 2 of your picks were great. The other one, thanks for being a good friend. But I hope you're right. 4-wheel drive class, we have 14 competitors. Miles, take a dive at it. Top 3.
Carmen Foster. She's the first one that'll come to my mind, obviously, in the hunt with the points, but she's been 2-time winner down there in the last 2 years. Very successful. Jake Zering was very, very tough already out the gate. Mark Mengen, a recent winner in 2021 down there as well. And they all sit 1, 2, 3 into points right now. So pretty easy to circle all of them. And then obviously I won't ever shy away from being loyal to the Holmans. So that'll be my 4th one that I'm kind of studying and watching. I can give you a whole list of other guys that know how to read Southern dirt, like from Virginia area. That might have a pretty good play in the game too.
Yep.
Or Georgia.
Yep. Larry?
Yeah, you didn't say Ben Ellis, but I knew who you was talking about. Anyway, but I would have to say my top 2 or 3, Ben Ellis being one of them, Jake Zering with Rule 19, awesome truck. It hooks when it seems like nothing else will. And I think Carmen definitely is going to be in that top 3 or 4. I hate to sound like I'm copying Miles, but he's obviously on the same page. I mean, I watch these guys from the starting line for 20 some odd years come out of the hole and how they drive. And the 4-wheel drive is very, very fickle on how you come out of the hole. I mean, you either bounce or you don't. So these guys can drive them out of there. Not that the other ones can't, but I'm just saying they seem to be very successful at it.
Larry, I don't know if you noticed, and you'll be seeing a lot of this content on our social pages, but we have an official correspondent who loves to find fans and have them make their noises of their favorite vehicle. So can't wait for him to get with you and you make your 4-wheel drive bouncing noise. Next class, Pro Stock. Actually skipped one. Pro Stock will follow mini rods. Apologize for that. But Pro Stock, field of 20. And I don't really – it's about like the mini rod class and all classes, but you just throw a dart against the wall with some of these guys. Obviously, the Masterson, the Grandview Gangsters have kind of put themselves on another level to this point in the season, but these guys don't sit on their hands at all. So, Miles, throw us your top 3, 4, whatever you're thinking right now.
I'm going to let Larry go first. Then I'll follow. That way we know we're not copying.
I like it. Mix it up.
Well, Mastersons have always been hard to beat for, 2 generations at least. But I would put Kevin Masterson in that top 3, and Mike Connie's tractor himself, and Robbie Russell, and one of the Smuckers. That would be my top 3 or 4 picks to play with. And there's no runt in the litter at all. I mean, you get Simons in there, and the rest of them, that's Pro Stock class is the most competitive class I think NTPA has right now.
Yeah. Larry, we're playing nice now, but we call these diesel burning picks on the Countdown to Pull Time show because in tractor pulling, we burn diesel. So we'll give you a pass today, but there's no getting off the diesel picks on Friday. Miles.
Yeah, I'm gonna shout out to Jack Mays. Obviously, he had some breakage this past week at a PPL event, and they had to work to get everything back together. But the billet binder out of Missouri, he and his dad have been really, really dialing things in. Brent Meyer and his injected machine, and obviously, I think that Rob Russell statistically has been very good down here. Kevin Masterson is the guy who I just don't know if he'll get beat. I mean, I hate to say that, but it would not surprise me one bit if we leave down there and he's the next person who has swept the weekend. Darren Hunt has swept down here. Kevin Schmucker has swept down here. You may recall a few years ago, Rob Russell pulled about 375 feet and almost hit the touchstone air balloon. That's what it's going to take. It's going to take a big monster pass to do it. And Kevin seems to be the guy, but I don't believe Kevin's been to Chapel Hill since they've been running pro stocks. A lot of people think that pro stocks have just been there for a lot of years. They haven't. They really started there like 2016. The two-wheel drive class had always been a staple down there. So it'll be interesting to see how everybody handles their setup and what they need to do. But most of the time previously, PPL always had conflicting events. And so a lot of these loyalists who have run with PPL for years have not been able to make it down here for this event.
Great point there, Miles. Forget about that. But a lot of these elite pro stock guys are making their first trip down the track. So that'll be interesting to follow. To round up the evenings, we got the unlimited class, field of 14. Again, I don't know if, Larry, you've been doing this a long time. We'll talk more about this on Friday, but I don't know, call it 13 of the 14 tractors coming are true unlimiteds. I don't know if that number has ever been there during my generation. So that's pretty significant, and that's missing Chuck Knapp. Unfortunately, we're not going to have Chuck with us, but Chuck, get well soon. Look forward to having you back on the track. For the fans that don't know, Chuck had a medical procedure, and he will not be able to make it. Miles or Larry, you go. We'll see. We'll put the diesel preview pick on you again. Top 3 unlimited.
Top 3 unlimited. Once again, there's not a runt in the litter, but you're right. We've never had 14 unlimited mods at Chapel Hill, especially true unlimited. It's not just a mod that stepped up and had qualified because he was in the points. But it'd have to be Adam Bauer, Joe Eater, and Kevin Criswell, and I hate to say it, I didn't say Dave Richardson, did I? I'm going to say Wayne Purser would be my 4th one if I picked the top 3 or 4. But I've seen you drive the tractor, Chase. I think you drive it harder than Dad does. It's he who has the checkbook doesn't drive as hard.
Exactly, I do. I would only drive that in an emergency situation, so because I don't pay the bills. Miles, who you got?
But you have driven.
Yes, I have.
I will be honest with you. I will follow suit with the idea of Adam Bauer. I believe the most consistent tractor in the class is Steve Bollinger, and I will put a big circle next to him. Last year, Joe Eder was incredibly dominant and swept the weekend, so you can't necessarily go wrong there. And sort of my dark horse in this whole deal, based off of what I saw at Toma, and knowing that they're capable of getting everything in line if they can get it to hook, that's going to be Ricky Rose. He had a great weekend with his son doing the driving of the mod, and when he was hooked in the unlimited, that tractor was screaming. It just was going towards the chalk line. So if he can go straight, I think he's in the hunt, obviously. So those will be the 4 I'm kind of watching, not to mention, I mean, there's a whole stack of them that obviously have proven themselves.
This class has never been this deep and as exciting. Just like a lot of things, this is about as fun and exciting the class, in my opinion, to follow this year. So what a perfect time to lead to the wrap to show up. The new full pull official diesel burning prop pick games. For all you new fans, we've all participated and watched the Super Bowl where you can make your wagers and picks on coin tosses, Gatorade colors, what Brittany's who's the Janet Jackson's wearing at halftime show the one year when it went pretty graphic on us. You can bet on it. You can bet and wager anything. Now, obviously, this is free to play, but we're bringing this element to our events, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun. There'll be 10 questions similar to the Session 1 challenge. Basically, you're going head-to-head with other entries, and whoever gets the most questions out of 10 correctly, you're going to win a grand prize. I think it's $100 to win, 75 for second, 50 or 25 for third. Forgive me for not knowing that, but going to be a lot of fun. This is something that's going to be added week by week, and again, we'd love hearing feedback and suggestions on other ideas. But we're going to preview these, guys. You're not off the air yet, so you're going to have to make your picks here. There are 5 questions in the 10 prop picks where you have to pick the last place tractor. I'm not going to ask you guys to do that because we all know how good everyone is. Accidents happen. It's really like throwing a dart against a dartboard, but some people do have skill of picking prop picks, so we're going to give those guys kudos. But the first question, and again, this is on you guys to answer. I think we have 11 diesel super stocks, okay? Out of the 11, how many will drive off the track on their own power? The over and under set at 5.5. If you pick under 5, anything under 5, you get it. Anything above 5, you lose, or you take the over. So, Miles, over under 5.5 diesel super stocks driving off the track in Chapel Hill Friday night.
I'll say for sure on Friday we'll take the over, and I think you can take the over both days.
Okay. Well, nobody likes to see breakage, but this is all about the fans in the fan experience. So I hope it goes 11 for 11, but the odds were set at 5.5. Larry, over under 5.5.
Oh, I agree. I agree with Miles. It'll be over in both sessions.
Over both sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll give you a lock on that, Larry. Next pick, greatest class in pulling, but it's also a very risky class, the mini rod class. The over under on half, meaning will there be or will there not be a mini rod rollover or end up on its side? It's happened many times in the history of mini rods at Chapel Hill. I'm going to say probably 3 or 4 since it started. When did it probably start mini rods, Miles? 08? 08. I'd say 4 or 5. Larry, you might remember more than me. But will there not be one on their side? I'm going the under. Nobody wants that. But the reality of it is between multiple organizations and multiple classes, I think we've had 3 or 4 already this summer. So it does happen. But will or will we not have one on this weekend, Miles and Larry?
No rollovers.
No rollovers. Or on the side. No. Larry? No. I like it.
No, none on the side, no.
If it ends up being me, guys, we won't count it because I'm an exception. So if I roll over, I'll still call your pick correct. All right. Unlimiteds that will need a high lift or telehandler tow off the track. Now, it's set at 1.5. We have 14 competitors, but at Toma, the first session, session 3, there was a rain out Saturday. We had 3 times. 3 times it was used to tow off the track. Again, no competitor wants this, but facts are facts, data is data. Miles, Friday evening, 1.5 over under telehandler high lift escort off the track in the unlimited class.
I think I don't think we'll have a problem Friday. I think Saturday you could potentially have some driveline parts that we start to lose, but I think Friday everybody's been through it. We've had a layoff. And I think that's a positive thing. We go from Toma to here, and we've had a break. So I think we've all gone through it, no different than you do kind of in the off season, because we're staring at a whole bunch of pulling in these next 5 weeks. And this was the break that was built in to give you a chance to do it. So I'm going to say no, we will not have to have the high lift more than once in the whole weekend. And
just so we're clear, Larry, before you go, this could be a high lift from the back end or the front end. So if you break your front end or your driveline locks up, if it pulls on the track, that's 1. So, Larry, over under 1.5.
For just Friday, we won't have any carried off.
We're focused on session 1. What we got? We had 3 at
three. Nobody will be carrying. Nope.
3 at Toma.
I know, but other than 1 or 2 of them, there'll be no risk at all. But I don't think on Friday you'll carry anybody off on the unlimited.
I love the positive energy. 2 more we're going to go through. Over under on out of bounds disqualifications in all 5 classes. 1.5 for the whole weekend. Depending who you are, the last mini rod outing I had, I think there was 2 disqualifications. That class is probably that and unlimited was probably most prone to it. Will there be more than 1.5 out of bounds DQs, Miles and Larry?
Yes.
Yes, over. You're going with the over.
Yeah. I'll take the over.
You guys work well together as a team.
I will too, because that track can take you either direction. That track.
Yes, sir. I've watched way too many of them come to the right side with me, where I stand on the big end of the track and they just hook. It's like they're standing on a break and they do. So yes, I will take that. I will take that bet.
You got the over. All right. Last one. We're going to wrap this show up. It's like the referees in major sports. You don't notice them unless something goes wrong. We have the best slow operators in the world in this sport, but you do notice them when there are resets. So to incorporate them in this game like everyone else, over and under on sled resets for the session 1.5, meaning if we get 2 sled resets, we're going with the over. Again, that could happen. They're normally pretty good. It won't happen in one class, but we're going to add all classes together. Miles, Larry, wrap up the show. Diesel burning prop picks. Put it on the sled operators. What do you got?
I respect Von Bauer a ton. That new red sled might challenge him a little bit. So I'm a little bit puzzled on just how I might answer that question.
Diesel burning prop picks, Miles. Don't forget.
I'll take the over.
The over. Okay. Larry?
It'll be at least 2 resets the first night. But now the second night won't fool him, even though the track will be different because they'll prepare it. But Vaughn keeps notes, and he knows where he was at last year, and he can read the track as good or better than any puller. But there'll be 2 resets the first night, whether he likes that I said that or not, but that's what will happen.
He's calling a lock there, Vaughn. I just heard it out of those diesel burning lock, Larry Richwine, 2 sled resets. Guys, it's been fun. Again, download the app on Android, fullpull.us. Maybe we'll have some good news about the Apple Store here in the next day or so. We're on standby on that. But you can get on, make your picks now, make your picks the day of. And obviously we'll do it again on Saturday. Tune in, 5:30 p.m. Central Time. Countdown to Pull Time Show. We'll have a bunch of fun content. We'll actually might even get Uncle Larry to do his 4-wheel drive sound impersonation, the bouncing. You can work on that all the next couple of days. Then obviously,
I know what to do. Yeah, I don't need to work on it. I know what
you can get your tickets online, Lions Super Bowl of South, or tune in NTPA live stream, ntpa.tv. Gentlemen, safe travels. Can't wait to see you. We're going to be pulling with or without the rain. That's my lock.
All right, sir. See you later.
See you guys. Thanks.
I agree.
Full Pull is the official fan app for truck and tractor pulling.
What's your favorite thing about tractor pulling?
First of all, it's an excellent sport, and we have made a lot of very good friends. Well, they moved us over here. We used to be over there. We had water, and we'd bring a pool.
It's a full pull exclusive. So what's your favorite class?
Light limited pros.
Can you give us an example of what that sounds like? Now, what are we cooking right here?
Well, we've been cooking brats, burgers, bacon now. That's about it.
Adam Bauer, Peyton, Iowa.
If you don't know that name, you don't know. This is a big time mother right here. Can you give me your best impression of a badass motor?
Join the Countdown to Pull Time Show live stream for the Super Pull of the South in Chapel Hill, Tennessee. Full Pull is the official fan app for truck and tractor pulling and will bring fans a live preview, breakdown, and predictions for all sessions of pulling. Get an inside look at your favorite drivers and competitors. Mark your calendars July 21st and 22nd for the Countdown to Pull Time Show, going on air 1 hour before the start of each session. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook to watch the free live stream.